Mafia, are you ready?
They said, are you ready?
This is Brotherly Love Wrestling Podcast, your first stop for everything professional wrestling. So sit back and enjoy wrestling talk at its finest with your hosts, Larry Hall and Joe Corrado.
Yeah.
Got it.
There's no mistaking when you're recording.
No.
No, they added
and
that.
I have to acknowledge it. Got it. Okay.
Yeah, that way we're not recording you without you knowing.
Yes.
Vic,
Put
I
the
must
bond
say,
on
this is, I don't want to jinx this, but this is your best reception we've had you at yet.
Yeah, don't jinx it. I was gonna say I haven't been cut off yet. I can hear you clearly. You can hear me. What's happening
Yeah, there's
here?
some. I mean, I think we can't let Hale in because it might screw with Vic's perfectness.
Yeah,
For real.
our energies together could probably implode the whole dynamic we have going on here.
It probably has before. I know when we had you guys on and Bill and Dan, that was definitely a freaking.
Oh, Bill and Dan are mad at each other. They like wrestled and they were bleeding, and then the
Yeah,
table broke when they put Bill's big ass on it. I saw the whole thing.
yeah.
Poor guys. Hope they work it out.
Never know.
Never know. Vinny from Ring of Honor showed up at Impact, but he didn't have Bill with him. Didn't have
No.
Bateman with him.
Nah, we saw Vinny the night before with
BXS.
skewer stuck out of his head.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I saw the picture Larry posted.
Mm-hmm.
It was interesting. I don't think I've ever seen Vinny do that before.
That show was interesting to say the least. That was our first like death match type show,
Yes.
and it was booked by a younger generation, so they went a little later than my old ass can take.
So you went back to back show. You did a double shot.
Yes.
Yeah, that show we did the night before. We didn't
Wow.
get home until after 1.
Wow.
So this show wrapping up at 9:30 was a pleasant surprise.
You guys joined me at Titan Championship Wrestling this last
Yes.
weekend. So just give them a quick plug there. But yeah, that's quite
Yeah,
the contrast of shows you went to. You said a death match and then just kind of like a family show.
And
Yeah, it was
and,
big.
like respectfully, there was a hardcore match at
True.
Titan Championship Wrestling, and it at least for us in the building, it was hard to invest. Is probably the best word into a hardcore match at Titan Championship Wrestling when we were at VXS the night before, which was insanity.
Yeah, we saw Tremont completely split open, and every other person on that show completely split open. So getting to see the hardcore match compared to the death match,
Yeah.
it was like completely. It was like.
Well, I guess that's why they're called different things.
Exactly.
I felt like we shouldn't have been allowed in that building. Like we shouldn't have been allowed to watch that after what we watched the night before.
Yes. Well, I mean, it would, no highly critical eye, I guess.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm talking semantics.
Well, some of the videos, the stuff that you posted from that show that I saw with the death match was pretty crazy, man.
Mhm.
I don't
It's,
even think I don't think I even got all the good stuff.
No?
There was
No.
there was some pretty amazing stuff that didn't record.
Wow. Well, it was definitely I like that, that's the cool thing about social media in some instances like Instagram and different apps where Twitter to an extent, but Twitter gets a little ridiculous, but Instagram a lot. Like you can see little views of like the indie wrestling scene all across the country on any given weekend. You see where like people are at, what shows look like, how the crowds are. Like you can really get a feel for the whole business if you're just paying attention and you're friends with the right people and stuff straight through social media. You get an idea of where everything's at. So I think that's one of the fun things about where wrestling is in 2022. But there's just so many guys looking for work right now. It feels like that it's going to be very interesting how the rest of the year kind of unfolds because there's been a lot of since even we talked last time, there's been probably 100 guys that have been released, and companies completely changed directions. Lots of different stuff. So
Now I want to ask you. Now I know you can speak on how you would feel, but I also want to get your perspective of how you think the younger kids coming up feel like when someone from a big company like WWE gets released, and you know that they're going to pull, like, depending on the name, but pretty much anyone who gets released from there, they're pulling a lot of bookings from whatever promotion wants to have them. Like, looking at that, how do you feel about that? Like, do you feel like, oh shit, now I got to work harder? Or is it like, no matter what I do, I'm never going to get to that booking?
you try to be the one that gets to work with that guy. So whoever that person is that's going to get booked on the show, you try to figure out a way that you can, if you're not booked with them, then you figure out a way that you get yourself into a position to be booked with the stars. Because if you're working for a company that's going to invest in bringing in talent that was fresh off TV or just off being released in something or something like that, you know that you have a promoter who is going to probably consistently do that. So you get yourself into a position where you wrestle that person, because that's the only way you're going to learn. If you're not going to wrestle them, you got to watch. But, you know, pitch ideas on how you could work with them. Ask the promoter if they already have ideas. Try to contribute in any way like that. Like, you don't want to look at it from the perspective of, oh, another guy taking my spot. Like, it doesn't. You don't get anywhere being the victim in any of those situations. So you look at it from, how can I use the situation I'm in to make myself better? How can I learn from it? And how can I take whatever I can from it to get myself to the next level as fast as I can? You have people in pro wrestling now that are 2 or 3 years in on national television making six figures. You know, this isn't something where you have to, like, right now, the business climate doesn't have you investing 10 years in it before you get a shot. Like, if you're on an indie show and a guy comes off TV or anywhere that has skill better than you want to work with him. That should be the goal.
So is there anyone that has been released that you've actually, like, had an eye on, like, oh man, either singles or tag team? I mean, has there been a lot of tag? The WWE has no tag teams, and the ones that they have, they're not getting rid of.
And if you watch the latest episode, I think it was Rampage or something, when the Jurassic Express won the tag belts, they had all the tag teams from AEW out on the stage, you know, and they lined the whole stage. Of all the teams they have there. Like, they have quite a few tag teams. You know, so the people that have been released, a lot of them, nothing's like jumping out at me as like, oh gosh, I really want to wrestle them. I'd love to have another match with Tommaso at some point, but you know, he hasn't been released. But I would love to wrestle. I'd love to wrestle Tommaso just because he's the main event wrestler right now. He's had the last time I wrestled him was 2016, I think, 15 or 16, and what his career has done from there forward is crazy. You know, there's a guy who's learning curve. He took this business serious, like, watched everything he could, got better every second he could, and it got him to the promised land. You know, Gargano's released and all those guys. You know, the Ring of Honor releases. Any person who's been in that position, I want to wrestle them. So if you've had a chance to get there and you've been on television, you've had a look, like, I want to wrestle you. I want to compare. I want to see how good you are compared to how good I am. I think that's like where the competitive nature has to come in pro wrestling to try to make it. Like, part of it has to be like, do you really believe that you're the best? How do you prove it? Because there's a lot of fakers. a lot of people will pretend like they're great and they're just like playing wrestler. It's very obvious.
Is it weird that was kind of my mindset when I was watching you guys this past weekend, when I was watching you compared to the other teams, like the way you guys came to the ring, the way you guys had, like, everything was in sync. Everything was like, you guys could tell that you guys have done this for a while. And then when I watched you in the ring, even working the corner, like, the communication, the bantering, the riling the crowd up. You basically, I watched you guys just basically interact with everything in the match while outside of the match. And then I looked at the other teams. I'm like, I'm hoping they're picking up on this stuff. Like, this stuff is like tag team gold. Like, this is like what you don't. This is the shit you see FTR doing and very few others.
Yes.
Like, I know it's an old school way of thinking because let's face it, that's what it is. It's just what it is. But I mean, like, that's something that shouldn't die off.
No, it shouldn't die off, and I feel that's one of the reasons that we are booked. Where we are and why we are is because we bring that to the table. We've been a tag team for over 10 years and have wrestled everybody, and we bring that level of professionalism with us no matter what show that we go to. So the challenge for everybody else, and this isn't like an egotistical thing to say, the challenge for everyone else is to always bring your best and rise up to the most professional best on the show. So there's some people who are brand new in the business when they get on shows like that who have never seen people perform at that high of a level or been that close to them, or people that normally perform in front of hundreds of people performing in front of like very small 2-3 rows, like kind of thing, and like to still act like there's 10,000 people in the building is something that you can only pick up through being a pro wrestler for a very long time. The comfortability with silence, coming through the curtain and having nobody know who you are, that's not the fun thing. Trying to establish a rapport with the crowd and letting them know who everybody is and why they should boo and why they should care, and all of those things can be done very easily when you know what you're doing. So, and I feel that's why promoters book certain people in certain positions who have been around the business for a while. Like, everybody's got their place and what you bring to a show. And on that show in particular, because there was cancellation due to COVID and testing and things like that, they had a very young group of guys, and that match that you got to see was a 3-team elimination for the tag team championships, and everybody in that match but me was trained by Johnny Rots, which is a very cool thing for that training center, to have everybody at that level, like at all different levels, performing in the same place. So Hale's been wrestling since the year 2000. It's a 22-year career, and then you got guys who are brand new in it, still coming from the same place, and things that they're learning in their school and what they learn in training, or that they've, maybe they're 2 or 3 years out, I'm not sure, but like stuff that they've learned and seen and they were told that would be the way, they're seeing it from a guy who started where they started and ran the roads and did all of the things, and like, it's a full circle moment for those guys there. So to be able to learn
a guy who got his hand raised by Bret Hart.
Guy who got his hand raised by Bret Hart. Yeah, it's a really cool chance for everybody. I'm not saying that you should be like happy to be in the ring with us, but you should, as a younger wrestler, appreciate the opportunity that you have to get in there with some guys who know what they're doing and they're willing to work with you. I want to work with young wrestlers. I want to work with the ones that like want to take this serious and they want to do this and they want to be the best, because I don't want to I want to test myself too. It said my connection was unstable.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
So what is Hale's connection? Non-existent?
Non-existent. Digitally, yeah.
We got to get you a cardboard cutout of him, like one of his old picks, like the blonde frosted tip picks, and he can just always stand behind you.
I gotta tell you, man, I do not want that in my house or anywhere around me.
Come on, for the show, do it for the show. You can put it in the closet.
It would keep me up at night. I'd probably come home and find it eating pizza randomly. No, thank you. I'm good.
It's a shame that this show's all inside jokes.
Well,
Man likes
Vic,
pizza.
I do. There was something that happened actually when we were at the show on Saturday. Was announced that. Oh my God! I completely forgot her name for a second. Mickie James from Impact is now going to compete in the Royal Rumble as the Impact Knockouts champion. Now, that's huge enough because of the history most recently with her getting released and the trash bag with all her stuff and everything that went down. And now fans are excited because now there's an Impact star going. But then I also saw on social media fans being like, well, oh, she hated the company. She badmouthed what happened. And now she's accepting the money to go back to the Royal Rumble. I mean, I just wanted to see what you
can
thought.
Also be used as a peace offering. People don't understand that. Enough money can be used as a peace offering.
That's true.
Sorry, we gave you your stuff in trash bags, but here's like 25 G's. What's wrong with that? I mean, I take that as a peace offering. That's a nice gesture. Thank you. Yes, I'll do your show.
Sounds like we're having a little trouble in internet land separating business and personal.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people in internet land like to make business personal. But it's not.
Mm-hmm.
Business is business and personal is personal. So there were probably mistakes made on both ends as far as anything personal going out there. But as when it does, and you move on. Business, great decision for everybody involved because of the story that's there, and the buzz it attracted just for shows like ours to have this conversation. Mm-hmm. So there's no bad to it. I think Mickey's career has been one that a lot of people who want to do this for like as a career should study, because there's a person who was told no lots of times. Even when she achieved levels of success, she was still like mocked and made fun of on worldwide television and sent away. And that would be enough for the average person to just be like, fuck this, I'm not doing this no more. And still like persevered, won the TNA Impact's championship, became an Impact Wrestling Hall of Famer, became a mom, came back from that, had a Hall of Fame run in WWE for a second time. Like NWA, like created like a whole pay-per-view to like showcase independent women talent. Like she deserves all the accolades in the world, every opportunity that she could possibly get to be showcased till the end of time. She's an amazing person and an amazing wrestler, and I want to see her win it. I think it would be badass. But
you know what's so funny is that I agree. I think she should win it, but people would I just feel like it would be like a nice moment, and then everyone would chime in, and it would just be like overbearingly awful.
Well, it would make for a really great Hall of Fame induction in WrestleMania weekend. And to like have that match after you win the Rumble, you get that championship match at Mania, Hall of Fame, and head off and.
But do you do that still as the Knockouts champion? The Knockouts champion wrestling for the.
It appears as though the strategy with them is any publicity is good publicity. So if they're gonna openly say the company name and talk about it, then it legitimizes them, right?
Well, and I think
there's only been a handful of times that's ever happened. You'd think like when WWF had the NWA on there, when they had all the cruiserweight belts, but they didn't even really mention all of them.
WCW used to do the New Japan Super Show.
What was it, Taz, when he left and went and won the belt back from Mike Awesome when he was a small contract, and then he wrestled Triple H on SmackDown, and they said he was the ECW champ. That was fucking cool and weird all at the same time. They jobbed him out bad.
Back in that day, I'm not surprised.
But there hasn't been too many people that have come in like that and that they've put over, so it would definitely be something people would be talking about the next day. And I think the pro wrestling climate on the mainstream level at this point is at that where they want the news, they want the trend on Twitter, they want the instant commentary on things. That's why that Brock Lesnar winning the championship at day one was such a fantastic decision, because it was what everybody was talking about. It built up all the hype, all the energy. Can't wait for the Royal Rumble now, when it had nothing hyped up for it before. That it added another dynamic to that Roman Brock feud. We're going to get the Bobby Brock match, which is like fucking awesome.
How long in the making has that match been? Dude,
I mean, I told you I had Bobby's first match ever. I've known Bobby for 20 years, and he wanted that match for 20 years.
You know Bobby Lashley for 20 years?
Oh, yeah.
And we haven't heard this yet?
I had Bobby's first day of training. I was the first day Bobby Lashley and Dolph Ziggler came to OVW. They started together. And
do you know Ziggler too?
Yeah. I had both of their very first matches. The first time they ever got in the ring was against me. Me and Ziggler were partners on a bunch of OVW shows when he first started. And with Bobby, it was so crazy, man, because he walked in and all of us are standing around and we see Bobby and we're like, holy fuck, because he looked exactly like he looks now. And we were like,
younger.
But younger. And he goes over, he's walking around the ring, and him and Nick Dolph are grabbing the ropes and feeling it and stuff, and Dr. Tom's there, and he goes, well, I guess there's just no other way to do this but just kind of get into the fire. So Bobby, get in the ring. So Bobby reaches up and grabs the top rope and does a pull-up into the ring, and you can see every muscle in his back, dude. It looks like a back ab. And we're all sitting in the bleachers back here, and then Dr. Tom goes, Vic, get in the ring. And I'm like, okay. So I get out of where I'm going. I slide in. Dr. Tom gets in the ring, and now I'm looking across at Bobby, and Bobby's looking at me, and I'm like, okay. And Dr. Tom goes, all right, Vic, this is Bobby. Bobby, this is Vic. Vic, Bobby knows nothing about professional wrestling. And I was like, okay. And he goes, I want you to go 5 minutes with him. I'm like, okay. So he backs up and he goes, ding. So now Bobby's just kind of just dancing around in position or whatever. So I go to lock up with him, kind of like an amateur lock, where they grab each other by the back of the head, and I pop his elbow and go behind him and grab a waist lock, and I pick him up and I put him down on the ground and I slap him in the back of the head. I thought he knew it was fake. When he stands up, because I turned away from him, when he stands up, I turn around and he fucking spears me, but as hard as I've ever been hit, ever. Broke me, as he was splitting me in half, as a human being was gonna run right through me.
And how much time was ticking off the clock so far?
Probably a minute. I didn't get up. That was the end of it right there. And from that moment on, we were pretty good. We were friends from there on, because obviously it was pretty hilarious. Everybody watched me just get smeared by Bobby.
Completely destroyed by Bobby Lashley.
I'll never forget the first weekend he was there, and he moved in, and we went to his house to pick him up to all go out to the bars and stuff. And I remember walking into his house, and there was nothing in the house but a table, and in the kitchen was boxes of oatmeal cream pies.
Oh,
and that's all those are the best, Little Debbie oatmeal cream pies, and that's all he ate. I swear, dude, I watched him eat probably I've seen him eat hundreds and hundreds of them, but at that point I was he was just eating oatmeal cream pies. So I'm looking at this dude who's literally cut from stone, chiseled. How? How can
fair.
you? How can it's not fair, man?
It's not fair.
It's not fair.
I gained 3 pounds with you fucking talking about that.
I'll send you guys. I did a thing with Bobby before he went back to WWE, where he was at an MMA show up in Albany, where he came in the cage and I was in there and I was like making fun of him for being in the cage, and then he did the same thing where he speared me and beat me up or whatever. But it was in probably like 2015, 2016. But I'll send it to you. It's a cool video to watch. But I've known those two for a real long time, and Bobby's wanted that match with Brock forever. When I went out to dinner with him, like after that MMA show, that was what he talked about. Was that?
That's crazy that he talked about that.
He's wanted that match. It's money, man. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and if Bobby was a champion wrestler for the Army. He's not a fucking slouch. He's a bad dude, and Brock's a bad dude. But I mean, like, man, like if you tell me there's going to be like a real fight between Brock and Bobby, I don't know who would win.
I mean, they both have very similar backgrounds.
I've like shook both their hands. I know exactly how powerful they both are, and I've seen their careers, and I don't know who would win. I really don't. I like, especially if it became an MMA, I might even give the nod to Bobby, because he is like a machine, dude. He is fast. He's not quick. He's sudden. And
You give the MMA
power. So
Brock's got some quickness too, though.
True. When he decides to turn it on, he's fast as shit.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if he's in a real fight with someone, I think he's actually going to turn it on.
Well, we've seen him in real fights, though, in the cage. I don't think Bobby lost in the cage. I have to look it up.
Did Bobby get to that level, though?
No. Not UFC. He was in Bellator, but that's not UFC. But,
It's still reputable.
Yep. Still somebody else trying to kick your ass.
Still a near 300-pound, completely shredded monster coming at you.
Yeah. No matter what, it's money for the Rumble. It makes me want to watch the show just for that. Like,
Shit, man, we should have had to get Bobby on instead of freaking Hale.
I think he's a little busy now. I don't know if he does that. No,
He's right around the corner from us.
Hale's so busy.
No, I'm talking about Bobby.
Are they in Philly tonight?
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. I love that building.
It's awesome, but it's also not as awesome because I was just talking to Larry before you got on. I was like, this is one of the only times that WWE's come to Philadelphia, and I don't even care to really watch it, let alone go to it. It's just gotten me so.
Well, not only that,
like,
to that point, I think I would take VXS and Titan Championship Wrestling over going to Monday Night Raw in Philly.
We already did.
Because,
did that.
no, I'm saying because the intimate of being 2-3 rows away, like all the wrestlers around the intermission, before the show, after, like all that, I think, at least now as a fan, the way I am now, I love it. I can't get enough of that. I'd much rather do that than pay $35 to $55 a seat, be up, bad views, food's expensive, parking's expensive. Like, it's just, I'd much rather the independent stuff.
Fargo Center, they got Lorenzo's. I don't know, man. Lorenzo's Pizza does trump a lot. I like food. It does trump a lot of things. If I can go get a nice slice of Lorenzo's, although that sandwich I did have before the Titan show was really good.
Yeah, it's another show that you came to that you did bring me a Philly cheesesteak.
You know what? And I had all intentions to, but I didn't leave the house till late.
Oh, yeah. It's
you got to come closer to
sure.
Philly, and we will get you a good Philly cheesesteak. We're not going to give you this sloppy, cold cheesesteak.
You don't want a cold cheesesteak, and you don't want to nuke it, because then that's savage.
You're right
there.
You're right. So you guys are looking out for me. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We just need Tommy to get HOH back and get back into 2300.
Yeah, that's a tree we should start barking up.
Yes. Yeah. How do we get Tommy to fucking loosen his pockets and start running again?
I don't even need him to loosen his pocket. I just need him to book the show. We'll all wrestle for free. Just if you build it, they will come.
Wouldn't he be able to get enough people to do that?
If you build it, they will come style. Yeah.
You think
That,
people?
that was originally. Do you guys remember the first day they did National Pro Wrestling Day in Philly? Quackenbush put it on,
I believe so. Yeah.
where it was like a match from like every promotion, and everybody donated their time. Like not every promotion, but every indie promotion, and like East and everything, and even some from like other sides of the country and stuff. But that would be something right now that would be like super huge. I feel like if you had it under like one banner, like you do a national House of Hardcore presents National Pro Wrestling Day, and it's like all the main companies put one match on under the show like that, and then the main event's a House of Hardcore match. Take my money.
Yes. Yes,
Now,
absolutely.
Do you think how many companies do you think would be the max? Because the amount of
The National Pro Wrestling Day went like fucking all day, but you'd have to do like 8 companies, seven companies, and then there's an 8-match card or something like that. You don't want to get ridiculous, but and only one match from a company.
I don't know, at ECW Arena, I could do a full day event there, I think. Because there's plenty to do around. There's plenty to do around there. Like if you're like, all right, I want to take a break, go get some food or some shit, then come back.
I feel like it was at the National Guard Armory in Philly, maybe. Fuck, I can't remember where it was. It was such a blur. It was me and Ben Ortiz against Hale and Tommy Dreamer. Yep. How do I remember that? Holy shit.
And when was it? This was
2013.
2013.
2013 National Pro Wrestling Day. But yeah, an idea like that would do really well, I feel like.
Yeah, I think so too.
I don't know if Philly be able to hold them anymore. The freaking wrestling scene around here is fucking real light.
Really?
They don't run shows in Philly.
Well, what's it? Is it because of the masking and the mandates and stuff?
I think it's because of the commission.
I think because it's real hard. Evidently, we've asked around to run a show in Philly with license and permits. Like the only people that really had it. I mean, you got GCW here a couple times in like a very, very small venue, like in a bar, basically. Yeah. And then you had the Wrestle Factory, Quackenbush's place, that's not operating anymore. And then you had maybe 1 or 2 small ones in like boys clubs in like the Northeast Philly. But other than that, like you don't really get a lot of Philly wrestling anymore, unless ROH, which isn't going to come anymore, or MLW. MLW likes to run at the ECW arena.
New Japan was there, right?
Yeah, New Japan also. Yeah, when they do their America tour and they make Philly one of their stops, that's where they go.
Yeah, that's got to be a good one.
It's one of the best wrestling venues around.
I wholeheartedly agree. It's one of my favorite places to wrestle. So it's a career highlight.
Well, especially because you can fit a good amount there.
Yeah.
And you have a bar right out freaking side.
Right there. Yeah. There's nothing. You want nothing when you're there. It's pretty perfect.
You have everything. Yeah, you pretty much have everything you need.
Yep. Yeah, that and the Mid-Hudson Civic Center in Poughkeepsie, 2 of my favorite wrestling venues. So
I do want to make it up there.
Yeah, me too.
Because Hale has talked it up a lot.
Yep.
The missing
link. Because the history there is so awesome. Like they were filming, that's where they filmed Vince McMahon dancing on the stage for that music video, and it's the first place Macho and Elizabeth debuted. There's so much history there. It's like,
so you're saying if I go there, I gotta dress up like Macho Man? If I make my debut there, I have to dress up like Macho Man?
You wouldn't want to.
He would. Absolutely, he would.
I already had the outfit.
Yeah.
I remember that one of the first days we were in that Civic Center with House Dreamer walked us over to the spot where he actually like broke his back. Like he's like stood right in the spot. Like I broke my back right here.
Is that where they filmed the one episode of Impractical Jokers, The Punishment, where Dreamer was doing HOH?
Yep.
That's that one?
That's that one.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, that was a really good one. That was when we had the elevated walkaway too.
Yeah. Wait, were you there? Were you there for that show when they did that?
Yeah. Yeah, it was really cool. They were there all day hanging with us. It was pretty cool.
Get the fuck out of here. Because there are a lot of, like, I think 2 of them are like actual wrestling fans.
Yeah, they were right. They were like sitting right at the video thing the whole time, like wanting to like pay attention and watch how it was going, like the whole thing. So, the bigger one in the elf costume, he loved it.
Q?
Yeah, Q, he loved it. So,
Yeah, I think him and Sal are the biggest wrestling fans.
I just read one of those guys quit.
Yeah, the best one.
Yeah, his name is Joe. He was definitely the best.
Mm. All good things must come to an end, boys.
That's true, but new things could arise from that. And it could
Yes, he could be the Impractical Joker.
He just jokes himself. How does that work?
The Lone Rangers. You're not exactly lone, are you? So funny.
All right. Well, unfortunately, we didn't have an appearance from Hale Collins, who was supposed to be on this show. And
did anyone message him this whole time?
No.
I messaged him around 3:00 because last time I talked to him, he said, "Okay, great."
Does he got, what's the time difference from Poughkeepsie to fucking Philly?
Oh, 4 hours. The 4-hour difference.
Is he gonna get on at midnight thinking it's like 8? What the fuck? Does he
You
have
should
a
just
mountain time?
Just leave a graphic up that, like, so anytime you enjoyed it, it says, like, just wait right here. We'll let you in a moment.
Oh my god, the content that we would get from that would be gold.
Just the audio.
Mm-hmm.
Just
I've been here for 2 hours. They won't let me in. Hello, let me in. I'm gonna give Hale for that.
don't you guys have a show coming up?
Friday, Butler, New Jersey, for ISPW at the National Guard Armory. Yeah.
Aren't you wrestling for Northeast soon?
Hale's wrestling January 22nd for Northeast Wrestling at the Mid-Hudson Civic Center. Yep.
He's wrestling Vincent, right?
Yes. So it should be
That should
something
be interesting.
pretty good. Those, we've always had great matches with Vinny, so they'll probably have quite the brawl.
I saw
Wait, so
Bill will be in his corner too.
Yeah, so Bill's going to be in his corner, and you're not going to be there to support Hale.
Well, he's not here to support me now.
That's a good point.
That's also valid, very valid. I'll give you that one.
Yeah, if he's nice to me, maybe he's going to need some help.
I gotta say, watching you guys in the ring on Saturday, I was like, man, fucking Vik is really, really carrying the load on this one.
What do you mean?
I said that to Larry. I was like, man, Vik is carrying the load because literally I would watch Hale get the tag, come in, and he'd do his stuff for like a minute and then tag out. And then you'd get in there for like a good 5 to 6 minutes. I'm like, man. I was like, has Hale been in the match?
Yeah, maybe I'm hogging it too much. I should tag out more.
I don't know, man. He was having fun egging the fans on.
Yeah.
He does like that hopping around on the apron thing. He's a big fan of that.
Yeah, he went and got a water at one point, came back to the ring.
I heard he just hopped right off and got a water.
Yeah.
Hey, hydration's important.
I always feel like he's doing something random, though. Like, he's so fucking random.
Me too. Me too. Try being his partner. I think that's his appeal.
It would have been better if you were going for the tag. He went to go get a water, then came back.
Yeah, that would be. Talk about like the ultimate misunderstanding, right? Tag team breaks up because partner's dehydrated.
Yeah, but you guys would have played that off really well. Where the
Just
hell
like
were
that,
you?
Just like that dude who tried to touch my jacket.
We couldn't see the jacket. We were in the other corner.
Yeah, it was a little obstructed.
I saw you pointing at him. I just didn't know what it was about.
Like he kept doing it, like knowing that I'm about to come in and just kick his ass. I'm like, all right, man. Well, doesn't do you very well to like piss me off that I'm just gonna come in and do it. All right. That was fun. That was quite the slingshot elbow. We crushed that kid.
He texted me that the next day. Hale was like, "What'd you think about the elbow?" I was like, "It looked great. I thought it looked really good."
Yeah, crushed him.
Yeah,
great highlight.
Was that the Nosebreaker 3000?
No, that was just a backhand on the apron by accident. Feel bad. What are you gonna do? My biggest victory was I did a German suplex with a bridge, and
Yeah.
having a bridge with a broken leg was a pretty epic move.
We didn't think you had it in you, but you did.
Nope.
Not the
There it
bridge. I
is.
think you had the German, but I didn't think you had the bridge. Not on the
Yep.
neck. That's
Yep.
tough.
I was up there, man.
What
It's a
leg?
highlight moment.
What bad leg?
Exactly. Don't tell me that as I'm limping around today, all sore and shit.
Yeah, but you live for that shit.
I do. Fuck yeah, man. Because when it was taken away, it was horrible. So
Yep.
never let that gift horse in the mouth again. Bring it on. Bring on the soreness.
All right, Vic.
Well, this has been fun.
Thank you so much for actually showing up. We appreciate it.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Very, very on time and precise as normal.
Yes.
I'll never bet against you, Mike. Again, I've learned my lesson.
Head over to Instagram. Follow Vik Dalishus on Instagram. Hale Collins. We're also on Twitter, Facebook under Vik Hale, VIKHALE. I think that's all the social medias. But
You guys got some new merch that you got out, didn't you? You got a couple new websites.
Right at prowrestlingtees.com/thenow. There's a couple shirts on there. We also have another someone else who's doing some artwork and hosting the shirts and artwork on his site that you can order. The link is on Hale's Instagram also. And then there's more stuff coming. We have some new gear that's coming with some new designs, and we've just been waiting on it. So as soon as it gets here, we can release all the other stuff. But it's gonna be cool. Yeah, it's gonna be a good year. So
that picture that Larry took and fixed.
The Miami Vice version.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna print that on a couple shirts. So if you want one, let us know.
Well, before you print it, give Hale a tan.
Give Hale a 10.
He doesn't believe in the tanning beds, does he?
No, man, he doesn't.
You got one in your house, don't you?
No, but shit might as well be.
Tan and
He says
jacked,
it-
baby. Tan and jacked.
He says it ages him. Like, well, then
It
I don't
ages
care.
him?
I don't care. Age me then.
I don't think
like
it ages you. I mean, it depends on how wrinkly. Does he think he's going to get wrinkly?
Well, people say that that's what a side effect of tanning, but I feel like tanning's been around for so long at this point. People would have
Since the
already
sun?
been. People would already be since the sun. Yeah, you'd think more people would be dead from it. I think that's just some fear mongering. We're gonna be okay here.
Yep. All right, Vic. Thanks so much
All right,
again. Can't wait till the next event we see you, and of course talk to you on here. So thanks again. Appreciate it.
Always a pleasure, guys. Thank you very much.
All right.